Okay, in this video I'm going to walk you through exercise 3. One of the things you're going to see, this is in dark theme, probably the first time I've used that for these videos. And to do that, go to the settings, options, general, application theme. And it's totally up to you. It does not matter. It does not relate to you at all. It's your assessment grade, evaluation, anything. This is just personal preference thing. So that's how you get to the dark theme. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a map to our exercise 3 folder. And we'll call this exercise _3_1. Click on OK after turning off. That's just a personal preference. Click on OK. And while this is going, let's try to go get some data. So we'll go ahead and find our data. So our first particular site is the trails. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll download those. So hit the download, then right click on the full dataset shapefile, save link as, and save it to our exercise 3 folder. The other one is the crime data. So it's the crime data. So it's a spreadsheet. So we're going to right click on it, then right click on the spreadsheet, save link as, and we're going to save that to our exercise 3 folder. Make sure to go into your exercise 3. Okay, so right click on that and extract your trails file, and then let's get to making some maps. Alright, so suggest turning off the world topographic map by clicking on remove after right clicking, and the hill shade, click on remove. Alright, what we'll do is we'll now go to our catalog and we'll click on folders, exercise 3, and we should see there the trails. So go ahead and right click on the trails shapefile, add it to current map. And the same goes for the standalone Excel spreadsheet .csv table of crimes. Let's take a look at the trails. Open up the attribute table. And one of the things we noticed, the person who, or the people who created this, is they drew a line, and it wasn't just one solid line for each trail. So for example, if I go here to the name, and let's just do sort ascending, you can see the name, there's a lot of duplicity. So essentially all of these 1,200 or some lines are all several lines made for about 19 different trails that are in Indianapolis. So what we need to do is we need to dissolve, type of tool we'll use here. We need to dissolve these based on the names. So essentially what I want to do is I want to combine all of the lines that are associated with each of these trails into one solid line. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and go to the analysis, then tools, and over here we should see the tools becoming available. I'm going to do dissolve. Click on that option, and we're going to dissolve the trails. We'll call this trails _dissolve. And for the dissolve field, we're going to do the name, and then click run. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn off the trails since it's kind of unnecessary now. I'm going to turn that one off. Now let's take a look at the attribute table for the trails dissolve. And when I open up the table, I got some extra stuff here. For example, this first one, so I'll go ahead and I'll highlight that and then right click delete row. Then I'm going to come down, I'm going to find the bike lane. That's not the name of a trail, so I highlight that. Then over here in this box, I'm going to right click delete row. Then go down to, there's the sidewalk. That's not the name. Delete row, and then the unknown and unnamed. Delete row and delete row. So we should have now 19 records. So we've now kind of massaged the information that we've been given, and we've now got these individual lines that all are encompassing for each trail. So for example, click on the cultural trail, and we can see it highlighted here up on the map. Alright, so that's cool. Go ahead and click clear. So now we'll go over here and click on our save. Make sure we save all those edits that we just made. And then we're going to do a buffer. The buffer, in terms of what we're creating a buffer around the trails dissolve. Very important to choose the trails dissolve. Our output feature class, we're going to call this trail _buffer. Click on save. In terms of the distance, 0.5, and we're doing miles, so we want to find crimes from 0.5 or a half mile away of the cultural trail, or each of the trail, I should say, not a particular trail. Then dissolve type. If we wanted to have them all, so if we said, I want to create a polygon around all of the trails within a half mile, and so it would just be one particular polygon saying, okay, within this polygon, we're a half mile from any particular trail. But I want to have half mile from each of the trails. And so because of that, I'm going to, in this case, not do a dissolve. So I'm going to choose the no dissolve option, choose run. And as you can see, a buffer now has been created around each of those lines, and those lines are the trails. Let's add now the crime data to the map. So first off, before we do that, we're going to have to set the map, this whole map frame, set its coordinate system. And so to do that, we have to first off go find the information. So the trails. Well, what was the projection of the trails? Well, if you notice, it's provided for us, and it's this particular NAD. So just go ahead and highlight all of that from the trails information, copy, and then we're going to go to map, properties, coordinate systems, and then paste it in. Click on enter on the keyboard, and then if you do projected coordinate systems, the only options that they'll provide to you are what you asked for. Click on OK once you got what we saw there on the Trails website. Now that we've done that, let's right click on the standalone table, the crime table, and do the display XY data. Over here, there should be a pane that soon fills with different information. I'm going to change the output feature class. It's just kind of a long name. But I'm going to leave everything else is, so leave that input table. And we'll call it crime_2018 on save. For the coordinate system, you're going to choose current map. You're going to hit the drop down and going to choose current map. And so what that does is then automatically turns it into that previous coordinate system that we needed. Leave everything else as is and click run. And about 2 minutes later, the points should be added to your map. And now the crimes have been added to the map as individual points. So we don't need the trails dissolve anymore. So all we're doing is we're trying to find out the number of crimes that happen inside individual trail buffers for different trails. So what we're going to do is we're going to join these two tables and do a spatial join. And to do that, go to the geoprocessing pane. It's added as a favorites. If it's not there, you can search for it by searching for spatial join. For the target features, we're going to do the trail buffer. And for the join, the crime. And we're going to call that then, let's say, buffer crime underscore SPJO for spatial join. Click on save. And if we come down here at the bottom, the match option, choose contain. So what we just did there, if we go back up, is we said, okay, our target feature is the buffers. And what we're going to do is we're going to join all of the points or all of the crimes that are contained inside of the trail buffer. Click on run, and now a new polygon should have been created. So let's go ahead and check off the trail buffer and the crime 2018, and so you should see a buffer crime SPJO polygon layer added. Let's take a look at that layer by right-clicking and looking at its attribute table. And we should see over here the join count particular column. We're going to right-click on that and do a sort descending. And so we can see immediately the cultural trail had the highest number of crimes within a half mile of the trail. So essentially what we've done is we've used geography to provide and create information. So now let's publish and display that information. So to do that, we've got to kind of massage the data a bit. So we're going to head and go and click on the join field, right click, fields, and we need to change the join count. Once again, we're providing information. We're trying to tell people which trail has the highest number of crimes within a half mile from it. And so join count isn't something that makes sense to, let's say, the average person, to whoever's going to be receiving this information. So highlight on the alias, and we're going to call this, what, number of crimes. But then we need to change the name. Let's just go ahead and change the name, trail name. And very important, we need to hit save. We need to click save up here. And now let's close out the tables. And let's add a base map. Now I'm kind of going with this dark theme, so let's do the dark gray. I think the trail buffer layer is pretty cool. I'm going to add the trail dissolve, which aren't really shown as well, so choose the option on the symbology. I'm going to change it to my personal, I think orange contrasts pretty well. Click on apply and move up the trail, dissolve. Now let's go to insert, new layout. I'm going to do the landscape. You could do letter or landscape, does not matter. I'm going to choose the landscape and add the map frame. Then go up to table frame. I'm going to add the table showing the descending list. I'm going to go into this and then right click, properties. The table I'm using is the buffer crime spatial join, and it's going to be giving me all the information. I don't want that. I just want the join count, which we've already changed the alias, so the table, it won't have the join count. It will say number of crimes. So I'm going to toggle all those other ones off. And for the purposes of the table, it's better to have the name before of the trail, before the crimes. We see here the table is not in descending order, so we need to then come over here to the arrangement choice, and then in the arrangement come down to the sorting, add, and join count. And it's got ascending. We don't want ascending, we want descending, so we're going to click off ascending, and then it should have done that already for us. You can then center this, you can move it, do whatever you want with it, but all we need to do left is add a title. Go to rectangle, add text, just click anywhere up there. Eventually over here, the text frame will open, and we're going to call this Crimes Within 1/2 Mile of an Indie Trail 2018. And we're going to make the size of that, we're going to change it, appearance, to be, let's say 21 is a good size for titles. Then come down a little farther, position, we're going to make it centered, click apply, and center that somewhere else there. Alright, now what we got to do is we got to save this, go up to the save button, and then share it by clicking layout and then exporting it to your exercise 3 folder. And you're going to call this exercise _03_1_ your last name. Click on export and you'll send that my way.